Hi, my name is Lennon and I love music. So let's talk about mixtapes. So first off, mixtapes in the year of our Lord 2026. Why? I am deeply attached to the physical realm of music. Anything that I can hold in my hands or personalize is generally right up my alley. And as of late, I've been taking a Walkman almost everywhere. I'm trying to separate certain activities away from my phone whenever possible. Otherwise, my attention gets sucked into either indecision over what I want to listen to or pulled into some social media app that just kills my mood. With mixtapes and tapes in general, I can just load a cassette, click play, and carry on with whatever I'm doing. One of my biggest use cases, for example, is taking it to the gym and using a tape that's around an hour as my workout timer. But I'm also just really into the idea of making mixtapes for other people and trading with them. It's just way too much fun. Plus, what I get in return usually introduces me to new music. So how about I walk you through how I make mixtapes? Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is decide a theme. I generally keep a notebook full of ideas for mixtapes that I sometimes pull from, or just come up with some new ideas off the top of my head. Sometimes it's simple as bands I saw in 2025, or something more specific like prog and metal songs about technology. Of course, if you're making something for someone, you're going to want to be making that with their interests in mind. But I make a lot of these for myself. Now that you have a theme, maybe consider some rules or limitations. You don't need to abide by mine, but what I've been working on this year is no repeated tracks. So, across all my tapes, you will not see a single repeated track, unless it's an alternate recording, such as a demo, live recording, or an alternate version of a song. For me, it keeps things fresh while also forcing me to dig deep through my digital library when I go to assemble the tape. As for a tape on a singular level, I stick to a strict limit of one track per artist. Alright, so you have your theme, you have your rules. The last limitation you should have in mind is mixtape length. This is dictated by the tape that you plan to record on. The sweet spot for me is a limit of 60 minutes, but maybe you prefer a 90-minute tape, or if you really want to challenge, a 20 or 10-minute tape. I tackled the 20-minute tape once by limiting myself to punk songs under a minute, and I fit a surprisingly large number of songs on that tape. Once you have all your limitations in mind, it's time to assemble a track list. I assemble my track list on my phone in the app Plexamp, since that's what I use. You might use Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, whatever really. It doesn't matter how you assemble your track list, as long as you'll be able to get it to your tape deck, which is an easy thing to do if you're like me and have a spare phone just hardwired directly into your tape deck, which is up there. Maybe instead you have a CD player plugged into your tape input, and so you burn your music to a CD. Well, guess what? That works too. Before we get to recording though, I want to touch on track list structures. Ultimately, how you assemble your track list is up to you, but I have a couple example structures for you to take inspiration from. One that I tend to use fairly often is what I've called the high fidelity structure, because it is based on that one scene from the film High Fidelity. It is a 3-song pattern that you just repeat, and it tends to be 1, a hype and attention-grabbing song, then 2, an even more hype song, and then 3, a chill song. Rinse and repeat. That's worked pretty well for me. Alternatively, I also came with this rather long-winded Broadway structure, which is a lot more open to interpretation and works well if you want to form a story. It's based on the types of musical theater songs and finding songs that would fit those categories. It's a little bit more rigid, but it doesn't have to be. It consists of overture, opening number, I want song, inciting incident song, torch song or the song that no one likes, villain song, patter song, act 1 finale or side 1 finale, entr'acte, act 2 or side 2, opener, reprise, 11 o'clock number, darkest hour song finale, and the mega mix / playout. I don't always use all of those. The structures help you find the songs that you want for the tape, but you'll likely have to do some rearranging. The important thing is that the track list flows in a way that makes sense to you. Sometimes I don't even follow the structure from the get-go, but I add songs to the track list that I feel fit the theme and then arrange them according to the structure that I want for the tape, which is ultimately all we're doing. If you are enjoying making a mixtape and you want to see more content like this, why not subscribe below or hit that little like button thing that is still there until YouTube decides to take that away too. It really does help, and yeah, I'm just kind of getting started here. I have a bunch more ideas. Also, I changed my mic for this video to a shittier one because I wanted to be hands-free, so we're trying that out. Anyways, back to making a mixtape. So you've got your hour-long track list, but a cassette is split into two sides. If you have a 60-minute tape, that's 30 minutes per side. For a 90-minute tape, that's 45. I split my playlist into an A and B side playlist right down the middle, and sometimes things don't fit. You might have to shuffle songs between sides, or you may have to switch out songs entirely. This is the trickiest part of making a mixtape because it requires you to sometimes have to cut your favorite songs. But if you run a few seconds to a minute over on a side, sometimes you can get away with that. You get a little bit of extra headroom per tape, at most 2 minutes, but you can never really know, so I would not rely on it unless you're only a few seconds to a minute over. Okay, you got your A and B side playlist ready? It's time to record. Let's hop over to my tape deck behind me and do an unscripted thing where I explain how to do this. If you already know how to use a tape deck and don't want to watch this in-depth step-by-step thing, then skip to this timestamp I'll flash on the screen for you right now. Okay, I'm sorry for this part of the video. The microphone might sound a little bit different, and that is because I'm using the mic straight from this camcorder that I use to film these videos. But yeah, quick, before we get to recording, I want to check with you on something. My tape that I've been making throughout the course of this video will be recorded on this. My tape that I have been recording, working on this entire video, will be recorded onto this Sony HF 60-minute tape. Now, this is a brand new tape. You might not be using a brand new tape, so let me give you a quick tip here. This is somebody else's old tape. Got stuff I really don't care about. It looks like it's Christmas music from off the radio. You can find these big things on eBay for generally not too much money, depending on the ones that you look for. For example, I think this one was meant for labs to erase all their data and everything. All this is two big magnets, and since tape is magnetic media, just doing that, flipping it around, pushing it back through, now you have a completely blank tape. So if you think you're going to be doing lots of recording, try to find one of these. It'll just result in a cleaner recording overall, and this is especially handy because if you're recording on Type 2, which neither of these tapes are Type 2, Type 2 and higher, you really need to use something like this if you want to ensure to get a clean record over your tape. Alright, future but still past Lennon here. I forgot to mention something. Dolby noise reduction. If you have this on your deck, you're going to want to enable it. I totally forgot to do that for this. You have Type A, which will just usually say Dolby, Type B, Type C, or Type S. You are unlikely to find Type S, but Type C is also really good. But whatever type you have, you might also have MPX. You do not need to worry about MPX for this situation. MPX is, from what I understand, extra noise reduction for when you're recording off of the radio. So you can set it to whichever noise reduction that you please, or maybe you only have one, so just turn it on. But yeah, just make sure that you note what sort of Dolby noise reduction that you used, and that whoever you're giving your tape to, or whatever you play back your tape on, also has the Dolby noise reduction to get the most out of that. And then you can turn on Dolby noise reduction on what you're listening to, and everything will be as clean as it can be. Alright, back to whatever else I was saying. Deck is turned on, and this is something I do, but for you, you could end up doing it differently. I don't know you. This phone is connected to this tape deck. I have it. Oh my god, tornado alert. So I'm navigating to my music thing of choice, which this phone is very slow, so we might cut ahead until I get to my music thing of choice. I have side A here, my new Pride mix. This is going to be this month's Pride tape. I'm just going to make sure that I have it available on this phone. I'm downloading it straight to it, so that way I don't have to worry about any stream lag or like stuff in between songs. Oh, also worth mentioning, because this is something that I have, I think Spotify has it, they have crossfades. If you are not a fan of those, make sure to turn them off in your settings. Sometimes I use crossfades between tracks, but that's only when I know that it's not going to sound horrible, you know. So, I'm going to take this extra tape that I keep lying around. This I use to actually set my levels. Now, setting your levels is pretty important, because level is too high, it's going to sound blown out. It's not going to sound great, you know? You want a nice sounding tape. So let me show you how to set your levels. I have a tape in here that I don't care about right now that I'm going to use to set my levels. And the way I'm going to do that is you're going to start recording on this. Now, my tape deck is different than my old one, but most people will probably have the piano keys. You'll press play and record at the same time. Now, for me, that's a little bit different. I have to hit record to arm it, and then I have to hit play. And now it's recording. So now it's actually recording to the tape. But I'll leave that going for now, who cares. I am going to play part of this playlist so that I can see what the settings are. I didn't actually set up any of the audio behind me on because I don't want to get copyrighted on YouTube. So you're not going to hear the music. Okay. I've done a quick zoom in on my meters here. Now, this is already set about at a level that you would want. So you want the loudest that your music gets. Why are you zooming out? Alright, so what you want is to have your levels about here, which means that the loudest, your music isn't getting blown out. It's a little bit into the red. I don't mind it. Sometimes I record it a little bit hot, and I end up recording it to like there. And that's recording a little hot, I think, according to some people. It's really ultimately about preference. You just don't want this. That bad. That no good. That, I am scared to listen to that right now. I am scared to listen to that tape. No bueno, bad, no. Good, acceptable, this. That's a good setting. Okay. You got your levels all set. Hopefully I managed to edit that into a way that makes sense. You can stop your recording if you're recording onto something, and then you can rewind your tape, assuming that this is the same tape that you're planning on recording on. This isn't the tape I'm recording on, but I still rewound it because this is one I keep up here for this purpose. And then it's time for the main event, and this is just so easy. You're gonna find, now this is key. This is important. You are going to find side A. That is side A. You want your labels to match, and you will, and I will go and do this later. I'm gonna print out a label for this cassette to put on there. But record yours to the right labels that are the cases, because they're usually embossed into the case. Sometimes they're not. This one's an A side, and this is our B side. I don't know if that comes across on camera. That is really hard to show off. And oh yeah, there, A, B. You got your A and your B side. This is just to, sorry, I'm getting a little close, hi. This is just to show you, this just helps you line up things, because then you can just hit record and record kind of at the same time. It'll make this a lot easier, because there is a direction. You want to be turning this way, so that the reel takes up in that direction. Otherwise, your tape deck's going to be upset. Ask me how I know. And this is too much, but you see the tape color. Yours might be different color. Yours might be more of a brown, but you want to get that center window just about right, just before. That's usually what I do, like just like in the middle there. That's good. That's perfect. Especially because this is a tape that I am pushing it on. I am flirting with catastrophe here. You got your tape ready, you got your playlist ready. You're going to just hit record and play at the same time, or roughly the same time. I'm gonna do them at the same time because I'm really tight on the tape on this side and how that is all gonna work. So I have already hit record, so for me, I'm just gonna have to hit play. And there we go. We are recording. You let your playlist play through. Make sure that you don't have repeat on or like add anything to so that it just ends. That'll make life a lot easier for you. Let's see. As you can maybe see here, got Destroy Boys playing. There we go. It is recording. You just let it do its thing. And yes, if I had my amp on, you would be hearing the music right now. But like I said, YouTube, copyright, yada, yada, yada. So then once side A gets done, all you're gonna do is take out the tape. You're going to do that reel thing that we did, and then you're gonna plop it back in, get your playlist, and do the same thing again. Record side B, and that's really all there is to it. But I think future me may have more things to say. I don't know. Good job, unscripted me, and good job, unscripted you. You've got a completed mixtape. If that's all you need out of this, you can consider it done, but I'm not considering that done. Every mixtape of mine, I try to assemble a J-card for. The J-card usually at a minimum consists of the track list written on the included blank J-card that came with your tape, but I also like to assemble a mini art collage for mine. I like to use the site that I'll link in the description to make the template that I work on. I'll try to film myself filling this out and put it over this footage, but if I don't, maybe I'll just put a frowny face here or something. By the way, don't forget to name your mixtape. And here's a speed assembly of me making said art set to some cool music. And with the magic of editing and making this mixtape before I filmed this section, voila! A finished mixtape. Pretty spiffy if I do say so myself. I hope this thorough guide on mixtape making has given you some inspiration for your own mixes. And if you'll excuse me, I have more mixtapes to make, zines to continue work on, and music to listen to. As always, I'm encouraging anyone who's watching this to go make art, even if you think it's shitty.